American soldiers landed, carrying a new weapon that would change warfare. Among their equipment were thousands of M1 rocket launchers, soon nicknamed bazookas. Most soldiers hadn't used them before. The bazooka, a simple steel tube, cost only $25 to make. Yet within 18 months, it would force Germany to completely rethink its tank strategies. The bazooka's impact wasn't about complex engineering or massive guns. It was a simple weapon any soldier could use after minimal training. It transformed American soldiers from targets to hunters, giving even small squads the power to destroy enemy tanks. The transformation began at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland. In May 1942, Colonel Skinner and Lieutenant Uhl demonstrated various anti-tank weapons. Uhl's launcher was remarkable. It was built that very morning from trap materials. He found a steel tube of the right size and fashioned the sights from a wire coat hanger. Senior officers, including Major General Barnes, were initially unimpressed. They watched demonstrations of British spigot mortars, heavy complex devices that weighed over 100 pounds. The mortars, fired at a moving tank from 150 yards, missed every time. The crews struggled with the complex aiming systems, and the weapons were slow to maneuver. Then Uhl stepped forward. He described wearing a welder's mask for the first shot, expecting a dangerous backblast. There wasn't one. He aimed his makeshift bazooka, fired, and hit the tank directly. He quickly reloaded and hit it again. General Barnes was amazed. He reportedly said it looked like Bob Burns' bazooka, referring to a comedian's homemade musical instrument. Within minutes, Barnes ordered 5,000 bazookas for immediate production. General Electric started manufacturing within weeks. By October 1942, they were producing 4,000 bazookas monthly, an astonishingly fast transition from a prototype to mass production. Each bazooka used only 20 pounds of steel, basic welding, and simple electrical components. The M6 rockets cost $8 each. The bazooka itself was a simple 4-inch long, 2.36-inch diameter steel tube, weighing only 13 pounds. 2 small batteries in the stock provided the electrical ignition. The rocket was inserted from the rear. A wire connected the battery to the rocket. When fired, the rocket could penetrate 3 to 4 inches of armor at 300 yards. Training officers at Fort Benning noted that a soldier could learn to use the bazooka effectively in a single afternoon. The same soldier would need weeks to master a 37mm anti-tank gun. More importantly, 2 soldiers with a bazooka could easily keep up with infantry units, unlike the larger anti-tank guns. Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of North Africa, began November 8th, 1942. Among the 107,000 American and British troops were soldiers from the 1st Infantry Division, the 1st Armoured Division, and the 509th Parachute Infantry Regiment, all carrying the first bazookas to see combat. The initial deployment was almost disastrous. General Eisenhower discovered the night before the invasion that the troops hadn't received any training on the new weapon. The bazookas arrived sealed and marked secret, with orders not to open them until the operation began. No instructions were included. Soldiers had to figure out how to use the bazookas under fire. Many of the early rockets had been damaged by the moisture during the sea voyage. They failed to fire or exploded prematurely. The 509th Parachute Infantry Regiment reported that of their first 20 rockets fired, only 7 worked correctly. Despite these problems, some units had success. The 1st Armoured Division's log for November 10th and 42 recorded an anti-tank team destroying 2 Vichy French Renault tanks near Port Lyautey using the new rocket launcher. The report noted its effectiveness when functioning correctly. The Germans first captured American bazookas during the Battle of Kasserine Pass from February 14th to 24th, 1943. Elements of the Afrika Korps' 10th and 21st Panzer Divisions overran American positions near Speitle. They captured many weapons and equipment from the retreating US 2nd Corps. According to German military archives, 5 intact M1 bazookas and about 20 M6 rockets were sent to Berlin for analysis. The Wehrmacht weapons testing facility at Kummersdorf received them on February 28th, 1943. German reports from March 1943 show their assessment. They called the American rocket launcher a simple but effective infantry anti-tank weapon. They noted its lightweight 6 kilotons, minimal production requirements, and its armor penetration capabilities, 80mm at 100 meters. They also recognized that it could be mass-produced easily. The Germans immediately started developing their own version, increasing the warhead diameter. By September 1943, the Panzerfaust 30 entered production. German records show they manufactured over 289,000 Panzerfausts during the war. This was impressive, but still far less than the number of American bazookas produced. Operation Husky, the invasion of Sicily in July 1943, showed the bazooka's improvement as a weapon system. American forces now used the improved M1A1 model with better electrical contacts and more reliable M6A1 rockets. One notable success in Sicily occurred near Biscari. An M1A1 bazooka team from the 82nd Airborne Division hit a Tiger tank penetrating through a vulnerable point. This was exceptional marksmanship but showed the weapon's potential. A German war diary for July 11, 1943, noted that the enemy infantry had rocket weapons capable of destroying armour at 100 to 50 metres and urged caution in urban areas. Colonel Gavin, commanding the 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment, reported destroying 17 German tanks with bazookas in Sicily. The psychological impact was as significant as the physical destruction. The Italian campaign, starting in September 1943, further highlighted the bazooka's versatility. The mountainous terrain and medieval towns provided ideal conditions for its use. The December 1943 battle for Ortona is a prime example. Canadian military records show that bazooka teams developed innovative tactics, blowing passages through buildings to avoid dangerous street fighting. The 1st Canadian Infantry Division's war diary praised the American rocket launchers, noting their invaluable role in street fighting against fortified houses. By January 1944, American production reached 20,000 bazookas monthly. The M9 model was introduced, featuring a design that could be broken down for airborne troops and magneto-ignition, eliminating the need for batteries. The M6A3 rocket, with its blunt nose, prevented deflection on angled armour. Fifth Army reports from the Italian campaign documented that every infantry battalion now possessed 24 to 36 bazookas. The weapon had become standard equipment, as common as machine guns. The widespread use of bazookas forced fundamental changes in German armoured doctrine. A Wehrmacht training directive from December 1943 mandated that tanks could not operate in urban areas without infantry support. All buildings had to be cleared before armour advanced. A minimum distance of 100 metres from uncleared structures was required, and added side skirts were mandated on all vehicles. German tank crews started welding extra track links, sandbags and concrete to their vehicles for added protection. The Zimmerit anti-magnetic paste, applied from December 1943 to October 1944, was a partial response to shaped charge threats. A captured document from the 2nd SS Panzer Division dated March 1944 stated that American rocket launchers were present in every infantry unit, making speed and shock tactics no longer viable. A methodical advance with an infantry screening was now necessary. By D-Day, June 6, 1944, the bazooka was integral to American infantry organisation. Among the 156,000 Allied troops landing in Normandy were thousands of bazooka teams equipped with the latest M9A1 model, featuring an optical sight. The bocage country of Normandy, with its dense hedgerows creating natural defensive positions, proved ideal for bazooka employment. First Army records show that in the 6 weeks following D-Day, bazookas accounted for 12% of German armoured vehicle losses in the American sector. The 29th Infantry Division's after-action report for June to July 1944 noted that bazooka teams operating in the bocage country achieved high success rates against enemy armour. German tanks were increasingly reluctant to advance without extensive infantry reconnaissance. German production records reveal the industrial reality behind their response to the bazooka. The Panzerfaust, while technically superior with its larger warhead, was more complex to manufacture. Comparing German and an American, archives reveals a significant difference. The Panzerfaust required significantly more time and resources to produce than the bazooka. By August 4, America had produced over 400,000 bazookas, while Germany managed only 289th and 51 Panzerfausts during the entire war. The Americans were outproducing the German copies by almost 2 to 1, while simultaneously producing simpler, more portable weapons. The German Ardennes offensive in December 1944 severely tested the bazooka under winter conditions. The 99th Infantry Division's combat interviews conducted immediately after the battle documented numerous bazooka engagements. Technical Sergeant Donald Bracken reported destroying a Panther tank near Rocheroth on December 17, 1944, hitting the rear engine deck. The extreme cold caused problems. Battery failures in the M1A1 models required soldiers to warm the batteries in their jackets. The 2nd Infantry Division reported that rocket propellant burned differently in sub-zero temperatures, affecting range and accuracy. Despite these challenges, 18th Airborne Corps records show bazookas destroyed or disabled 89 German armoured vehicles during the Battle of the Bulge. One remarkable bazooka employment came from Major Charles Carpenter of the 4th Armoured Division. As documented in his Silver Star citation and confirmed by multiple witnesses, Carpenter mounted 6 M9 bazookas on his L4 Grasshopper observation aircraft. His combat record, verified by 4th Armoured Division records, shows successful engagements against Panther and Panzer IV tanks in 1944. Carpenter's aircraft, complete with mounting brackets for the bazookas, was later discovered in an Austrian museum and has since been restored. His innovation demonstrated the weapon's versatility beyond conventional infantry use. Final production statistics from US Army Ordnance records show a massive production of bazookas and rockets. The unit costs were remarkably low compared to the cost of German tanks. US Army Ordnance conducted extensive analysis of bazooka effectiveness in 1945. Their findings showed a high hit probability at closer ranges, decreasing with distance. Armour penetration was consistently effective. Tank destruction analysis from the European theatre shows that bazookas accounted for a significant portion of tank losses, though likely understated due to enemy tank abandonment when threatened. Post-war interrogations of German officers revealed consistent themes about the bazooka's impact. Field Marshal Albert Kesselring, German commander in Italy, stated that American rocket launchers forced fundamental changes in German tactical doctrine. General Heinz Guderian acknowledged that the proliferation of infantry anti-tank weapons like the bazooka invalidated the independent operation of armour central to German doctrine. The bazooka threat influenced German tank development from 1943 onward. German armoured vehicle production records show the addition of skirts and side skirts to Panzer III Part 4 models, the application of Zimmerit paste increased side armour on the Panther G model, and the development of infantry support variants with enhanced anti-personnel armament. These modifications added weight and complexity to German vehicles, reducing their mobility advantage. Lend-Lease records document bazooka distribution to Allied forces, including substantial numbers to the Soviet Union, United Kingdom, Free French forces, and others. Soviet military archives indicate that the Red Army found the bazooka effective but preferred their own anti-tank rifles, and later the RPG-2, developed partly from bazooka principles. While less publicized than in Europe, bazookas proved valuable in the Pacific. Marine Corps records from Saipan, June-July 1944, show bazookas destroying 28 Japanese tanks and countless fortified positions. The weapon's versatility was demonstrated through various rocket types, including incendiary and smoke rounds. Marine units particularly valued white phosphorus rockets for clearing cave complexes and destroying Japanese bunkers. At Iwo Jima, the 5th Marine Division expended 1,847 bazooka rockets in 6 weeks of fighting. The bazooka's continued relevance was proven in Korea, where initial M9A1 bazookas proved inadequate against T-34-85 tanks due to degraded ammunition. However, the rapid development and deployment of the M20 Super Bazooka with its larger rocket demonstrated the weapon system's adaptability. Marine Sergeant Robert Bennett's combat report from Busan, September 1950, stated that the new 3.5-inch bazookas stopped T-34s effectively. This rapid adaptation from problem identification to solution deployment in under 90 days demonstrated the flexibility of the simple bazooka design. The bazooka embodied American industrial philosophy in World War II. Analysis of production methods reveals manufacturing simplicity. Any factory with basic welding equipment could produce tubes. No special alloys or precision machining were required. Assembly time was short and training time for assembly workers was minimal. Distribution was efficient. This contrasted sharply with German production philosophy, which emphasized technical superiority over quantity. The Wehrmacht's focus on complex, high-performance weapons limited production capacity and field maintenance capability. US Army training records document the bazooka's impact on the infantry doctrine. Pre-bazooka, infantry anti-tank training was largely ineffective. Post-Bazooka, every infantry soldier received Bazooka training. The psychological transformation was documented in infantry school reports. The Bazooka gave infantry soldiers confidence against armor, replacing previous tank-related anxieties with aggressive tank hunting. Combat units developed innovative Bazooka tactics, documented in after-action reports. Urban combat in Italy saw two-man teams operating from upper floors, targeting tank vision, blocks and turret rings. The mouse-holing tactic, creating passages through buildings, was also employed. In the bocage country of Normandy, Bazooka teams used concealed positions in hedgerows, targeting side and rear armor. Coordinated multi-team ambushes were common. Winter warfare saw soldiers warming rockets inside their clothing and using snow camouflage for their approaches, often targeting engine compartments to start fires. Cost-effectiveness analysis from Army Ordnance showed a massive cost advantage for bazookas compared to other anti-tank methods. Destroying a German tank with tanks resulted in significant losses of Sherman tanks. Using anti-tank guns or aircraft was also considerably more expensive. Using bazookas, the cost was dramatically lower, resulting in a 1,000-fold cost advantage. For the price of one Sherman tank, the army could purchase thousands of bazookas and tens of thousands of rockets. This economic advantage made the bazooka revolutionary. The bazooka principle, simple man-portable anti-tank weapons, became universal in military doctrine. Direct descendants include the M72 Law, the RPG series, and other anti-tank weapons used worldwide. The fundamental concept of giving infantry portable anti-tank capability remains central to military organization globally. The German Tank Museum at Munster includes a permanent display on anti-tank weapons, prominently featuring the American bazooka. Their official placard acknowledges the bazooka's revolutionary impact on anti-tank warfare, highlighting its simplicity, effectiveness, and ease of use. The bazooka underwent continuous improvement based on combat feedback, with several models and rocket types developed throughout the war. A comprehensive 1962 US Army Military History Institute study concluded that no single weapon changed battlefield dynamics more than the M1-M9 bazooka. It democratized anti-tank warfare, giving every infantry unit the capability to defeat armor. The German development of their own rocket weapons in response validated the concept. In terms of cost-effectiveness, tactical impact, and strategic significance, the bazooka ranks among the most important weapons of World War II. Analysis of German operational records reveals the bazooka's strategic effect. Before the widespread use of bazookas, German armor operated independently with confidence, and infantry often fled from approaching tanks. Breakthrough and exploitation tactics were highly successful. After the introduction of the bazooka, armor required constant infantry support, and every building and hedgerow became a potential ambush site. Breakthrough operations became costly and slow. This operational shift, documented in Wehrmacht war diaries, fundamentally altered European battlefield dynamics. Bazooka production represented American industrial capability at its peak. The distributed production model, involving numerous subcontractors across many states, made the supply chain resilient. No single bombing raid or sabotage could significantly impact bazooka availability, unlike German production, concentrated in vulnerable facilities. The bazooka's simplicity enabled its widespread adoption. Training records show that the average soldier achieved basic proficiency in 2 hours. Combat proficiency was typically achieved after 5 practice rounds. No special physical requirements were needed, unlike anti-tank rifles. Effective use was possible by soldiers of all backgrounds. This democratization of anti-tank capability meant that any infantry squad could engage armor, fundamentally changing battlefield dynamics. Comparing contemporary anti-tank weapons reveals the bazooka's advantages. The British Piat was heavier, had shorter range, and had reliability issues in wet conditions. The Soviet PTRD anti-tank rifle was also heavy, had limited effectiveness against medium tanks, and had severe recoil. The German Panzerfaust was a single-use disposable weapon with very short range and no sighting system. The bazooka offered the best combination of portability, effectiveness, range, and reusability. The bazooka's strategic impact extended beyond tactical employment. Its force structure enabled lighter, more mobile infantry divisions. Logistics was simplified due to straightforward ammunition supply compared to anti-tank guns. Training was faster, rapidly converting civilians into tank hunters. Psychologically, it transformed infantry from victims to hunters. Economically, it offered a massive cost advantage over traditional anti-tank weapons. These factors combined to give American forces a significant advantage in combined armed operations. The bazooka succeeded through simplicity rather than sophistication. While Germany developed technically superior weapons, America's ability to mass-produce and widely distribute good enough technology proved decisive. By war's end, virtually every American infantry squad possessed anti-tank capability. This proliferation of firepower to the lowest tactical level exemplified American military doctrine, trusting the citizen soldier with powerful weapons and the training to use them effectively. The Germans had entered World War II with the world's most powerful armoured forces, their tanks dominating battlefields from Poland to France. They were ultimately defeated partly by American teenagers carrying steel tubes that cost less than a bicycle. The bazooka proved that in modern industrial warfare, the ability to mass-produce and distribute simple, effective weapons could overcome technical superiority. It demonstrated that innovation didn't require complexity. Sometimes the best solution was the simplest one that could be manufactured by the thousands. The bazooka's development from Edward Uhl's improvised tube with coat-hanger sights to a weapon that helped defeat Nazi Germany represents American industrial ingenuity at its finest. In just 3 years, from May 1942 to May 1945, American factories produced hundreds of thousands of bazookas and over 15 million rockets, fundamentally altering the nature of ground combat. The weapon's impact was both physical and psychological. Physically, it gave infantry the power to destroy tanks at practical combat ranges. Psychologically, it transformed soldiers from potential victims into active hunters. German armoured forces, which had revolutionized warfare with blitzkrieg tactics, found themselves slowed to a crawl by the threat of rocket teams hidden in every building, hedgerow and pile of rubble. The bazooka succeeded not through technical sophistication, but through practical simplicity. It could be manufactured quickly, distributed widely, and operated effectively by any soldier with minimal training. This combination of simplicity, effectiveness, and mass production embodied the American approach to warfare, overwhelming the enemy through industrial might rather than tactical brilliance alone. The bazooka's impact on military doctrine continues to this day, with every major military utilizing portable anti-tank weapons that are direct descendants of the bazooka's fundamental design. The bazooka was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of American industrial democracy. It proved that free workers in American factories could produce simple weapons in such quantities that they overwhelmed the products of German engineering. It validated the American faith in the citizen soldier, trusting ordinary men with extraordinary firepower. The Germans were shocked to discover that their vaunted armoured forces could be stopped by a simple tube that cost less than a week's wages for a factory worker. But that shock revealed a fundamental truth about modern warfare. In an industrial conflict, the nation that can produce the most weapons and distribute them most widely will prevail over the nation that produces the best weapons in limited quantities. The bazooka, in the words inscribed at the former US Army Ordnance Museum, was proof that American ingenuity and mass production could triumph over complexity and craftsmanship. From the beaches of Normandy to the mountains of Italy, from the hedgerows of France to the forests of the Ardennes, the bazooka gave American soldiers the tool they needed to stand against German armour. That simple tube, born from scrap metal and coat-hanger wire, helped write the final chapter of the Third Reich, one rocket at a time. The bazooka's legacy extends far beyond World War II. Its simplicity and effectiveness inspired the development of countless anti-tank weapons around the world. The basic principle, providing infantry with a man-portable weapon capable of destroying tanks, remains a cornerstone of modern military doctrine. The impact of the bazooka transcends its purely military applications. It stands as a testament to the power of innovation, mass production, and the democratization of technology. The bazooka's story highlights how a simple, inexpensive weapon, produced in vast quantities, could fundamentally alter the course of a major war. It challenged traditional notions of military superiority, proving that technological advancement isn't always about complexity and refinement. Instead, sometimes the most effective approach is to create a reliable, easily manufactured weapon that can be deployed widely. The bazooka's legacy continues to influence military strategy and technological development. The enduring impact of the bazooka is evident in the continued development and widespread use of man-portable anti-tank weapons. Modern equivalents, while technologically advanced, still reflect the core principles established by the original bazooka. Its history serves as a reminder that even the simplest innovations can have profound and far-reaching consequences. The bazooka's story is a compelling example of how industrial capacity, combined with effective design and widespread deployment, can significantly impact the outcome of a conflict. It demonstrates that the ability to mass-produce relatively simple yet effective weapons can be a decisive factor in warfare. The bazooka's success was not solely due to its technical capabilities but also to its adaptability and the ingenuity of the soldiers who used it. They developed effective tactics, often improvising solutions to overcome challenges encountered in various combat environments. The bazooka's legacy is not just about the weapon itself, but about the people who wielded it. The bazooka's impact extends beyond the battlefield to the realm of manufacturing and industrial production. Its design and production methods provided a model for efficient, large-scale manufacturing of weaponry. Its simplicity and reliability allowed for its rapid production and distribution, ensuring that it was available to Allied forces when and where it was needed. The bazooka's story also highlights the importance of understanding and adapting to the realities of combat. Through ongoing evaluation and refinement, the bazooka evolved to better meet the demands of evolving warfare. This adaptability proved crucial to its continued success and its widespread adoption by Allied forces. The enduring legacy of the bazooka lies not only in its effectiveness on the battlefield, but also in its contribution to the development of modern warfare and its influence on the ongoing evolution of military technology. The simplicity of its design and its widespread impact serve as a testament to the power of innovation and the capacity of mass production to shape the course of history. The bazooka's journey from a hastily assembled prototype to a pivotal weapon in World War II is a compelling narrative of ingenuity, mass production, and strategic impact. It represents a pivotal moment in military history, demonstrating the transformative power of accessible technology in the hands of well-trained soldiers. The bazooka's story continues to resonate, reminding us that even the simplest tools, when wielded effectively, can achieve extraordinary results. The story of the bazooka serves as a lasting reminder that even the most seemingly simple innovations can have profound and lasting impacts on the world. It's a testament to the power of human ingenuity, mass production, and the ability to adapt and improve upon existing technology. The bazooka's legacy continues to this day, a symbol of American innovation and the enduring power of simplicity in the face of complexity.